I am excited about this because I love to draw and sketch, and it's something that's been a part of me all my life. Whether I'm good or bad at it is immaterial. What matters is you get those pencil lines on the page, and this is just like writing a sentence to your friend, to your family, to your customer. This is telling them what's in your mind without using words. No words, just a few lines on a page. You can do this because perspective sketching in the way I'm going to show you in this short clip is going to be something that's going to change your life. You'll be able to connect with your friends and your customers, your family, show them what you want to make, show them what's in your mind, and just by drawing a few straight lines, a few flexible lines, some freehand drawing, you'll end up with a drawing like this. This is a dovetail box. Somebody wants to know what the box is going to look like. This is my communication with them. It saves 1,000 words. It's just going to really do it for them. So let's take a look at this. If I have a customer who wants a nice dovetail box, and I will walk you through how I might sketch a dovetail box or do a perspective sketch. I'm going to use just a drawing board here. It could be the inside of a notebook. It could be a single sheet of paper on a tabletop. Anything like that. But I've got my paper is attached to the board. If it's a book, I'd just use the edge of the book. It won't move. And then I'm using 2 sticks of wood, 3/4 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch, something like that, stuck together with super glue. It's strong enough for this kind of a project. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at a 2-point vanishing point perspective sketch. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to take a line from one side. This level here where I've got my T-square is my eye looking directly at the paper. So this is the level of my eyes right across here. And then right here, I've got one mark at the top here. This is my vertical line. This is the center of my nose, the point between my 2 eyes. So this is giving me a center point where I'm looking directly at it from front to back. So let's take a look. First of all, I'm going to put a dot here for that level that I had across there, and a dot on this side. And we're going to connect these dots. We're going to connect lines from these dots. So my first line is going from that dot to this point here where it crosses over the line. I'm going to go below the line here. So this would be my way of seeing what I'm looking directly at, directly in front of me. This is the nearest point to my nose. This is the corner of the building or the corner of the block. In this case, the box, it's the corner of the box. So I'm going out here. This is the extreme length of the longest side of the box. So now I'm looking at one side. Until I put this side in, it doesn't make much sense. When I go over here and I align my straight edge, my T-square, with that dot, and the bottom corner of my box here, put a line here, swivel up, keeping my eye on that dot, keeping my straight edge in line with the dot to where it comes to the point where the 2 intersect on this top corner. Now I've got a vertical line to put in here between those 2 lines. Now I've got a box. I've got a facet here and a facet here. I can only see 2 sides of the box because it's directly in line with my vision. Let's say I go lower down, and let's say this point where it crosses the line is the top of the box. If I go to that line there, like this, and I'm going to use a different pencil in a minute so you can see a little bit more clearly. If I go to these points, so I'm keeping right on those dots that on the corners, put my vertical line here for the extreme of my box, another vertical line here for the short face of the box. Watch what happens now when I connect these lines here. You can see how simple this is going to be for you to do at home in your kitchen on the dining table. So now this time, I'm not just seeing the 2 faces, I can see directly down onto the top of the box. So if I go and join these lines now, one line this way and another line this way, keeping my eye on the dots, Now I'm looking down, take out this extra line here that I don't need. All of a sudden I've got a three-sided box. I can see the three sides to the box perfectly clearly. Let me switch pencils and black that in a little bit more. Not normally a pencil that I would use for this kind of drawing, but if I put this in now, you'll start to see more exactness of the box. Thicker line, blacker line, heavier graphite. Like this. I love the way these drawings come together. Solid lines on the solid extremes, because they would be solid if you were looking at them. And then up here. Now I've got my vanishing points on the paper, but you could actually go off the paper onto the board, and that would shift the perspective yet again. So you can do that. You can extend these or shorten them. There's my basic box. So now I want the dovetails on here. So I'm going to bring in a rounded edge. I'm going to put a lid on this first, and I'm going to put a bottom on here. Watch what happens now. So I'm just using the liberty of being creative here, where it crosses the line at the bottom and it intersects at the corner. I pull a line up here. I'm going to round this here. I've got round here. So from the underside of the lid that I was proposing here, now I've got the corner, and I've got the corner here, like that. I've got the lid. So I'm going to round this slightly here. This is my round here. I can take this line out later if I want to. What about dovetails? I'm going to switch pencils just for a minute to a lighter line, and I'm going to come here and here, because I want to put the joinery on this. I want to show my customer that I'm putting some dovetail joints on here. They can relate to that. They understand what dovetails are. If I say I'm putting dovetails here, they'll understand that this is a quality project. I'm finding the middle visually just with my eye here. Then I've got a crosshair there. I'm going just below it like this, and just above it. That's the center of my pin. And here I've got another pin and another pin here. I'm going to connect these dots like this within the confines of those lines, swivel up, make another line. These are the ends of my dovetails on the end of the box. So everything is going from this wide point to the narrow point, this wide point to the narrow point up here. Connect these lines like this. Let me switch around a little bit. Connect these lines up here. So now I go right to this extreme here, mark the crosshair, do the same on the next one lower down, mark the crosshair, same on this one. This is diminishing the dovetails at the far end of the box, the furthest away from me, and it's proportional with these dovetails. So now if I take my darker pencil just to ink in this a little bit darker there, down to the lower part of the bottom dovetail, up here to here, like this. Now I've got my dovetails on my box. So I can use this point here, 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 and here to transfer up to the other end on the second line. So if I put a crosshair here and a crosshair here, all the way through I've got this replication of the points of the dovetails. So now I can connect this line to this one to this one, This is going in the opposite direction. So now I've got my dovetails. Now I can start to thicken this in. So I'm taking out extra lines that I don't need. I don't need this line because they would just confuse my customer. And then I'm taking out this one, and this one, and this one. So watch what happens now. I'm going to take my thicker pencil and I'm going to make my dovetail recess there. So I've got everything I want on this. It's looking like a dovetail box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to black in these areas with some cross hatching because end grain does look heavier. This is what I'm going to give to my customer. They're going to be happy because they see the round over on the edge of the box. They can see the dovetails. They can see what they're going to get. And then I can go in with some shading if I want to. I could shade this under edge of my box here like this. Just a little bit of light shading, nothing complicated there. Underneath the lid of the box, I've got a little bit more shading in here, a little bit of shading underneath here like this. I want some grain in here. Sometimes people like some grain, some shading, so using the side of my pencil to develop this into a better perspective. Here again, I've got this grain that's going through here. This is rounded, so a little bit of detail here, not too much. So I'm coming up here. Now it's looking like a box. They know what they're getting. On the lid, a little bit of detail, some shading there just to give the impression of grain. And that's how I would put together my perspective sketch for a basic box. If I want to, I can change the position for this. I can move my point of vision over to the left side or over to the right side. So in that case, I might come in here. Let's say we wanted to show a position like this. So I'm using that exact same. I get a completely different perspective. I've moved my pointer. This is now the center of my vision. So I move up here and here. You'll start to see that my box is diminishing. So if I put a line here and a line here, another line here, like these are my vertical lines of the front corner and the back corner of the box. If I start to connect this to this, so you have this playground really that you can now work from, and you can develop any perspective you want. This is the wonderful thing about perspective sketching, using this simple method, just a straight edge, some imagination. All of a sudden my boxes look like railway carriages. They look like a line of buildings way off into the horizon. I've got these boxes going away, diminishing in size. This is the kind of thing that you can do with your box. You can look underneath the box by going up the page, raising your point of vision to here, to here, to here, and here. So this is boxes, this is all boxes. Make your vertical line, and then it doesn't make sense looking at this until you put these underside. This is the underside of the box because I've raised my point of view or lowered my point of view in this case. So this is now the underside of my box. So this is the underside, this is the end, this is the end. I can't see the top side because I've only got these 2 points that I'm looking from. There you have it. That's a simple perspective sketch. It can't take any simpler than that. And you can adapt this to just about any project, chairs, dining tables, cupboards, whatever you want. We're always trying to grow our community to help woodworkers, people in crafts, any area of life, Subscribe to the channel if this has helped you. We really want to help other people. The more you subscribe, the more people join us, and the more we'll enjoy a community of perspective sketchers, woodworkers, craftspeople all over the globe.